admittedly, there is so much irrationality in the corporate world, like you just said. That is where so much of the frustration from employees comes from. And I think that is where we struggle to find intrinsic motivation. That's what leads us to the coping mechanisms of complaining, is saying, this is ridiculous. Why is everybody keeping this ruse together where we all know this is, bullshit, essentially, oftentimes. But you take a different approach. You say, yeah, but you have to find your intrinsic motivation. How do you recommend people do that when they know they're taking part in an irrational system?
Well, I think if you look at then intrinsic motivation, and it happens when we immerse ourselves in what we do. When we immerse ourselves in what we do, we become good and knowledgeable about what we do, okay? And that actually gives us an upper hand when we engage with people, with people that want to do things that are completely irrational, okay? In the book, I have, I think several methods, for how people can engage from, how you solve a problem, how you think about that logically, to how to think about yourself and how you engage, with people in a conversation. So, I have this, you always do what's right for the company or for the organization. And that's not a specific individual. It's not do what's right for the CEO or whatever. Okay. You cultivate, a view of, what is in the best interest of the company in the short and the long term, how to make this a good place to work, that where we do good things and whatsoever. And you use that as a lens in how you look at yourself and how you look at others. I use that, that was my lifesaver when I left McKinsey, came into a super irrational company. And then I had direct reports that could not collaborate and whatever, okay. And I didn't have any tools as a leader, because at McKinsey, I was surrounded by people that were super productive, always delivered what exactly or better than expected and so forth, and could work in teams without any sort of issues, whatever. And then I came to this company and I'm like, oh my, I thought I came to sort of a mental institution of sorts, because people were backstabbing each other. They were like, all this, crap going on.
Yeah.
And I just said that, okay, I think it was a Friday. I had a beer at home and I was thinking about actually, maybe I should go to, school and become a veterinarian and work with animals, because they are much more rational than this. But then just the question came to me, why am I paid a premium as a leader? But it's actually to safeguard the best interest of the company. That's it. It's beyond personal interest. It's beyond group interest. It is that. So I need to cultivate a view of that. And that's the lens I'm going to use toward myself, toward my colleagues, toward my boss, and whatever. And so when I remember I had two direct reports that could not collaborate, and they had to collaborate in order to produce something really important. So I just invited them into my room and I said, okay, so, from what I understand and what I hear and what I see myself, you cannot collaborate efficiently. Okay. Can you explain to me why that is in the best interest of the company? And then they start to explain why they can't collaborate. Say, I don't care about that. Right. I care about why this is in the best interest of the company and why I should pay you a salary for this. And then, of course, they have no answers. Okay, right. Good. Now you take 45 minutes and you decide how to work in a good way together. And I would accept to see the best collaboration that this organization has ever seen before. Okay. If not, we are going to have a completely different discussion. And it just happens. So there's some power in that when you find this like proxy that you can use that. And that in combination by building really good skills and knowledge about what you do, you're empowered with two powerful weapons to fight against this, irrational stuff. But you also have to ask yourself why you think it's irrational. Because sometimes people think it's irrational on irrational grounds, so to speak. Okay, someone has made a decision, and just because someone has made a decision that affects me and I was not part of it, okay, it's a bad decision, even though it's a good decision. Okay, there's a lot of irrational, stuff going on inside us for that. So you also need to ask, you know, ask yourself, you know, okay, I see an issue now. Do I need a high resolution view of the issue, or do I actually can I run with my low resolution issue view of the issue? Basically, you know, what I know about the issue so far, or do I actually need to go deeper on it before I make up my mind what I really think about this issue? I don't know if it's answering your question, but
no, it is perfect. Actually, I even your analogy makes a lot of sense.